Steph Weaves Tales presents Paxwood, The Trial of the Demon Slayer, a paranormal fantasy web serial written and narrated by Stephanie Gildart. Episode 15, The Weight of the Missing. I didn't mean to doze off, but road trips take their toll on the body, even when you're sharing the driving responsibilities with someone else. Between two wing beats of a dragon from the novel I was idly reading, my eyes closed, and I fell asleep in my aunt's cozy armchair. The sizzle of dinner cooking drew me out of my unintentional nap. It took a moment for me to reorient myself, placing the curtains, the furniture, the bookshelves. I was safe at Aunt Gina's. She hadn't been here to greet Jeremy and me when we arrived. I would have expected her to wake me up with a big hug instead of a meal, but she must have come back at some point and just left me sleeping. After a long stretch, I headed for the kitchen, only to find Jeremy there at the stove, supervising a one-pan meal of diced chicken and veggies. "I hope it's all right I started working on something to eat," he said as I came in. "Aunt Gina would be grateful. Did she come home?" I asked. "Not as far as I can tell, unless she was in and out while we were both sleeping." I opened the cupboard and pulled out dishes to set the dining table for three. Intentionality sometimes invited the desired outcome, and I wanted Gina to be all right. After I finished, I checked my phone again for messages and found nothing from my aunt. Chris had sent me a little update on life in the Big Apple, noting how surprisingly quiet Central Park could be. I told Chris that Jeremy and I were safe in Kentucky and wished her well. By the time I'd completed that text exchange, Jeremy had finished dinner and Gina was still nowhere in sight. We each gave ourselves a heaping portion of Jeremy's one-pan skillet chicken and vegetables, and we left some behind for Gina. She'd be hungry when she got home after all. We ate, with a bit of casual small talk that faded slowly into silence as the sun vanished and twilight turned toward night. I fetched a food storage container and stashed the leftovers in the fridge, then placed the dishes in the dishwasher so that we could start it running. Throughout the process, I silently weighed the primary options. Keep waiting, or go searching. "You're worried," Jeremy said, acknowledging the elephant in the room. "I'm torn. Aunt Gina insisted we arrive by daylight, and she's not here," I said. "Day's over, night's here, and she's not home. The last time I talked to her was over 24 hours ago. She didn't explain why, so I don't know what the threat is, but I have to assume that there is one, and she's in danger." Jeremy leaned against the counter, frowning. "There's no reason to wait before we take action. Sooner is better when someone is missing. If the searchers end up missing too, it's not much help." I sighed. Gina is a mage, mostly leaning toward protection and barriers. As best as I can tell, she's been doing a lot of work getting this place magically protected, reinforcing any natural protections that benefit human homes. Natural protection? When humans maintain their homes and fill those walls with love, emotional security, and physical safety, it creates a barrier against paranormal threats, I said. Stronger if the family has lived there longer, or if they add spell work to it. Even without magic, the protection can be enough to keep some nasties at bay. Like vampires requiring an invitation. Is that real? I nodded. Some predators find or make simple loopholes, and humans take out their own defenses all the time. Contention, strife, pain, intentional injury, and neglect all pierce holes in the barrier. And if one person is susceptible and extends that invitation, that shatters protection for everyone inside, whether or not they agreed. "I see," Jeremy said. "Would you say the defenses Gina has been putting up are powerful?" "Very. Which means the threat she's preparing against is nothing to take lightly." "When we were in town, did you notice anything strange? At the gas station?" "Not really." "Where were the kids? It's a nice day, summer break, but nobody was out walking a dog. No children goofing around in a yard or park, no bird song. Did any of that stand out to you?" "It didn't," Jeremy realized. I sighed. "You stay here in case Gina comes back. If she does, one of you can call me and let me know. I'm going to take the car and use my instincts to track her down. If I see or sense anything, I might find her. Alone? Are you worried about me getting hurt? I sighed. I don't know what the threat is. There's no local reconnaissance. Maybe my aunt's truck slid off the road and down an embankment, or she's being stalked by some Appalachian cryptid that emerged because the coal miners dug too deep. I'll benefit from having someone in a safe place who can relay any new information if it comes in. Do you understand that? Yes, but I don't like it. Jeremy groaned as he looked upward. If your aunt's truck is down an embankment, you might miss it while you watch the rodent steer. I can be a second set of eyes, focused on the search. If she's getting stalked by a monster, maybe you ought to have someone watching your back to ensure the monster doesn't get you, too. We can leave a note with contact information and our basic plan, and if your aunt comes back while we're gone, she can call us. You make some reasonable points, I conceded. Fine, we stick together then. I'm driving, though. I need to react quickly and follow my senses. Once I drafted a decent note and laid it out on the dining table where Aunt Gina could find it, we set out into the darkness. On the dirt farm road that took us from the house out to the main road, twilight sparkled with the magic of fireflies as a seemingly impossible number of stars began filling the night sky. The peaceful solitude of the night invited rest and reflection. But once we crossed the property line and started toward Fickle, all those safe feelings started melting away. The shadows between the trees grew darker and deeper, providing cover for predators that even the high beams couldn't effectively pierce. I kept the car at around 5 below the speed limit as I grasped at the threads of warning that my demon sense typically provided. My sense, however, warned me of something out there in almost every direction besides the family farm. I'm not seeing any telltale signs of a vehicle running off the road, Jeremy told me. No skid marks or damage to plant growth along the roadside. But I think I'm picking up on what you were saying about something being wrong. Takes time to hone those instincts, but keep listening to them and trust yourself, I said. Watch for movement, too. Either there's a group of something out there, or it's one big something with a menacing aura surrounding the area. But I get a sense of threat all around us. I half expected Jeremy to ask if that meant we should head back. It was a sensible suggestion. I might even have agreed. I did not like being surrounded by the unknown. Instead, he made a little non-committal noise, acknowledging he'd heard me. We continued toward Fickle, the night growing deeper with each mile. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Paxwood Book 2, The Trial of the Demon Slayer, is written and narrated by Stephanie Gildart. That's me. Theme music composed by Human Nature. Visit paxwoodtales.com to read the story as it unfolds. Want to read over my shoulder while I write what's next? Catch me live on Twitch for laid-back virtual co-working and crafting. If you like the story and you want more, like, review, comment, subscribe, and if you're feeling particularly entangled, buy me a skein of yarn on Coffee. Carrie's paranormal tip of the day. Trust your instincts if you have a sense that something is wrong. Don't go immediately on the offensive at every uncomfortable prickle, but pay attention. What exactly seems wrong? Is it something different from what it should be? Can you figure out what and why? Keen observation empowers your next decisions.